mega matchup we have tonight from the far east side. It's a showdown in the OCC Buckeye as tonight Pickerington Central takes on Reynoldsburg. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus and nationwide on Stadium. I'm Randy Reinhardt in my 38th year. My partner for a quarter of a century has been the football professor, Jeff Logan. Jeff, we talk about Pickerington Central. This is a team that won a state championship last year, and sometimes you sense a decline in a team after they win a title. That does not look to be the case for the Tigers.
Well, they've got the ability to reload, Randy, and this is an elite program, and I want to use the term dynasty because I think that's what they are all about, and I think Jay Sherritt has put his team in a position to be considered one of the elite programs, not only in the state of Ohio or Central Ohio, but in the country. Reynoldsburg will find out tonight, though, how they measure up against a really good football team.
Tigers have won 2 state titles in the last 3 years. All right, the combatants tonight. First of all, Pickerington Central, 5-0 on the season. They've given up only 12 points. They have not given up a rushing touchdown in 22 quarters. Jay Sherritt is their head coach in year number 18, and they have a guy that's their focal point tonight that's a familiar name to college football fans especially. It is Lorenzo Stiles Jr.
Yeah, senior was a really good linebacker for the Ohio State University. Junior is going to play both sides of the ball, wide receiver and cornerback, and with the ball in his hands, he has scored on a rush, he has scored catching the football, and he has scored on a punt return. He is dynamic.
And last week they beat Lancaster to the tune of 35-0. On the other side, it is Reynoldsburg, the Raiders, 3-2 on the season, coached by Buddy White in year number 10. He's got a guy at quarterback that is something special as well, too. His name is Dijon Jennings.
Well, Jennings got a chance last year to kind of put his feet in the water and test what it's all about. He got to play the second quarter. Even though he wasn't the starter, he got to play a lot of important minutes for the Raiders. And this is a young man with 13 passing touchdowns. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns. And Randy, he averages 250 yards of total offense. I promise you, Pickerington has not seen anybody like Jennings.
A couple of underachievers tonight, is what you're saying, right? Are you ready for some football?
Let's rock and roll.
Are you ready for some football? What a matchup we have tonight from the far east side. As tonight, Pickerington Central takes on Reynoldsburg. Back with the kickoff in just a moment. You are watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus and Stadium. And welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School. Time now to meet the third member of our broadcast team. To the sidelines we go, and our Mike Todd.
All right, Randy, it's another beautiful night for high school football. And hello to our national audience on the Stadium Network. What I'm most interested in seeing tonight, guys, is how Jeff LaMonaco's defense matches up against the spread offense of Reynoldsburg. If the Tigers are going to vie for another state championship this year, they're going to have to succeed against spread offenses like Reynoldsburg's tonight. Guys?
Mike, thank you. The Tigers won the toss and deferred. The Raiders will receive on your right. It's time now for your kickoff in this contest, and it's sponsored by Ohio University. Your path to success guaranteed. Mitchell Vollmer with the honors, and here we go in week number 6. The return going to start from the 7-yard line for the Raiders, up across the 15 to the 16-yard line, and that is it on the return that time by Marquise Gilliam. So that is where Reynoldsburg will take over on offense. The Raiders at 3-2 on the campaign, as we mentioned, and also a team that has an offensive coordinator of A.J. Lash in his 7th year with the program. Used to be a quarterback at Heber Heights back in the 1990s. So we'll see what the underdog Raiders can do in this contest, although we should mention that 2 years ago, Reynoldsburg beat Pickerington Central 24-21. Last year, Pickerington Central beat them twice, 40-14, and 2 weeks later in the playoffs, 20-14. Pick Central leads the series 30-10. 1st and 10 now from the 16-yard line for the Raiders. Andrew Jennings going long on the first play of the contest, downfield and contact at the 48-yard line. And they're going to toss a flag. The back judge has opted to throw the flag in. So Patrick Hunter tosses the flag at the 47-yard line, and we'll see if it goes against the Tigers. Chris Baker is your referee tonight.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 13. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Thank you, Chris. Very demonstrative. Your center judge along with Chris in this contest. They're all listed there on your screen, so check those guys out. We thank them for their great work that they do every single night, and we say here we go for Reynoldsburg with a first down at the 31.
Any question what Buddy White wants to do tonight with this offense?
That's right. Open it up. First and 10 from the 31.
Mike Todd talked about that spread offense. They like to spread the field.
High snap pulled down nicely by Jennings across the middle, and what a catch, and then dropped on the play. Looking for big number 10 who returned the kick in Marquise Gillum, the 5'5 junior. As we check out the offense now, this is your Spark Columbus Fit City Challenge starting lineups. Get up and get active. You can register now at sparkcolumbus.com. Good size in the offensive line and good hands out wide. Watch for Jabari Mitchell in the quartet of wideouts that they have, and good size in the offensive line as well, too. Back up that man at quarterback, Dejon Jennings, 6 feet 185 and a junior. As Jeff mentioned, last year he got to play every second quarter in their contest. And the handoff this time goes right up the middle to Jeremiah Crawford-Smith, who came in with 316 yards rushing and picks up a nice game up across the 34. Now the defense for the Tigers, and Jeff LaMonaco, an 87 grad of Pickerington Central. Gorman is a guy that started and actually saw time as a freshman on both sides of the football last year for the Tigers. That had never happened during the tenure of Jay Sherritt. And a guy to watch at linebacker, William Dukes IV. And then you've got the Stiles brothers in the secondary. Lorenzo, who we talked about in the open, and his younger brother, Alex. They'll spread it out now on a 3rd down and 6, and we've got motion. We've got flags up front.
Looked like there was some motion on the offensive line, and that's plenty that's going to go against the Raiders. Penalties have been a problem.
False start. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Been a problem for this football team, Randy, and a lot of that goes to the youth of this team. If you look at their starters, of the 22 guys, 15 for Coach Buddy White are not seniors. Sophomores and juniors are starting. This is the youngest football team that he has ever had.
So with the penalty now, it's 3rd down and a dozen from back at their own 29-yard line. And Crawford-Smith's going to exit the backfield, go way wide to the top of the set. Empty backfield now for Jennings, looking across the middle, pump, and can't get rid of the football. Good pressure that time. Put on by number 33, shooting right through there, is C.J. Doggett. Doggett makes the hit on the play. He's already got offers from schools like West Virginia and Michigan State. And a young man that plays baseball, and Doggett makes the hit.
Well, he was lined up right over the center, and he just disposed of the center like he wasn't there. I watched him in warm-ups, and this C.J. Doggett is a beast. He is really thick, 6'2", 270 pounds, just a junior, so he will be playing for somebody at that Division I level.
Justin Barco to punt, averaging 29.6 per contest every time he boots the ball, and the return going to start the other way for the Tigers. And Lorenzo Stiles Jr., who we talked about in the open, and you can see why. The escort takes him down the sidelines, Jeff Logan, and in for a touchdown with 10:17 left to go in the first quarter. And just like that, it's 6-0 Tigers.
That's punt return touchdown number 2 on the season for Stiles. And Randy, you got to give him a lot of credit, but the special teams, the setup of the wall was perfect. Nobody's blocking in the back. This was a very returnable kick. And you can see Stiles turns the corner here, and look at the line of white jerseys just there creating that wall. And that is perfect execution of that punt return.
That is your Ramos Roofing touchdown, and we got a flag before we try the extra point. 53 yards on that punt return by Stiles for the first score in this contest. Mr. Baker again with the honors.
Ball.
Too many men on the field. Illegal substitution. Well, if you're going to block an extra point, you're better off with 12 than 11, right?
So the penalty going to move it back for the attempt for the extra point for the Tigers. Mitchell Vollmer, 25 of 26. And make it 26 of 27. So we've played 143 this contest, and thanks to that man, the visitors, the defending Division I state champs, are up 7-0 in this contest as he takes it 53 yards for the score. A reminder, you're watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus and Stadium. 7-0 Pickerington Central on top. All right, Buckeye fans, your wait is almost over. When the football Bucks return to the field, count on the Football Fever to get you ready for game day. Join Clay Hall and Rodney Dunnigan starting October the 24th at 11 a.m. only on ABC 6. 55 degrees at game time, but it seems red hot for the Tigers as already they've scored in this contest. And once again, for the second time, Mitchell Vollmer to boot it. And Gillum this time will start it from the 12. Bounces off the first wave and will return it about 9 yards up to the 21-yard line. And that's where the Raiders will take over for the second time. To the sidelines we go. We mentioned the football fever, the man that is the brains behind that and the beauty, the one and only sports director at ABC6, Clay Hall, joins us down on the sidelines. Clay, how are you tonight, sir?
I am fantastic. I know I've finally arrived now that I've joined you and Jeff tonight.
It is an elite club. Well, you got to be excited. College football is finally just around the corner for the Big Ten and most specifically the Buckeyes.
No question about that. 25 or 26 years now of the football fever. It's been a thrill to do. Certainly the shoe is unparalleled, and then covering Ohio State football from coast to coast has been the thrill of my career. There's no doubt about that. And we get to do it again. It gets those juices flowing even in this crazy COVID year. We're ready to go again on October 24th with a cast of thousands to do the football fever one more time.
Crawford Smith gains 2 on the play, Clay. It's now second down at 8 from just past the 23-yard line, near the 24. And he wants to go long downfield again. This is what Reynoldsburg likes to do on offense in the pass. Incomplete. Nice coverage on the play. It'll set up third down.
Yeah, terrific defense on that play. And Clay, today was the first day of pads for The Ohio State University, getting ready for the season. And I know Ryan Day didn't just throw them out there and get them after it, but finally you're getting contact in practice. You got to feel like it's a whole lot closer.
No doubt about that, Jeff. As you know, I mean, that's when real football takes place. They got acclimated yesterday. They got to mix it up a little bit today, and hopefully they'll be ready to go on the 24th. I really feel like these Big Ten teams have been ready to go for quite some time, and still we wait 3 weeks for the 24th. But yeah, no question about it, and Ohio State is ready to unleash what they think could be a national championship team on the 24th.
Nothing there for Jennings as Tyler Gillison comes up to make the hit. I've got to ask you, this is a scarlet neck town when it comes to the Buckeyes. Is there a chance for the Buckeyes to go all the way and take the ultimate prize?
No question about that. I mean, when you had Justin Fields, when you have Sean Wade, when you have Wyatt Davis opt back in and say, nope, that'll have to wait. I'm going to go get a championship with this team. I mean, they are so deep. We did a piece today on the linebackers. The receivers are just as talented, just as deep. Justin Fields is expected to be a top 5 pick in the draft, and the receivers set. And then the defense tops in the country last year in total D.
Gavin Edwards with a nice return inside the 25-yard line. It all starts up again on October the 24th at 11 a.m. only on ABC6. You and Rodney Dunnigan. Clay Hall, thanks for all that you do every single week, promoting not only what you do, but also Thursday Night Lights as well, too.
Oh, it's been a thrill. No question. Your devotion to high school football, because that's where it all starts, in Ohio being one of the top states in the country for prep football. It produced the great Jeff Logan.
Thanks, right, Clay.
You got it. I wish I'd seen you play, brother.
You're not old enough. Money had to exchange hands there with that.
I just wasn't here. I'm old enough, believe me.
Quick pop across the middle. It is caught on the play by Brooks Kunkel, the tight end, who makes his second catch on the campaign. He had 1 catch for 14 yards coming into this. So it's now 1st and goal for the Tigers of Pickerington. There's your offense. Jay Sherritt and Ryan Dougherty handle that. We mentioned Mr. Stiles on defense, also plays on offense, and the quarterback is a good one as well, too, that runs the show, and Garner Wallace, and he's done a fabulous job all season. Nick Mosley has rushed for over 445 yards. He's got a 6-yard average, and he has taken it across the goal line 12 times as a running back, has a chance to do it again, bounces off the first defender, and gets it inside the 4, Jeff, to around the 3. So the Buckeye football season is going to start in earnest about the time that we stop the high school season, as we check out the defense now for the Raiders, and Anthony White replaces Dave Bynum as the D coordinator. Good size up front with Woodford, Burton, Turner, and Mobley. Chris Carr they like as the middle linebacker, but they got 2 sophomores, Jeff, and a junior starting at linebacker, and some youngsters in the secondary as well, too. 2 sophomores, the junior and the senior is Sophia and Sangari.
This is the key to their offense, though, is the play of the quarterback, Garner Wallace. And we'll talk about the fact that the state championship quarterback from a year ago obviously graduated, moved on, and if you're going to compete at this highest level, that quarterback position is critical, and they feel like they've got the right guy.
Inside the Schiffin Associates red zone, it is Mosley off the left side, and he will walk in for the touchdown. Nick Mosley gets touchdown number 13 on the ground, and just like that, another Ramos Roofing touchdown is scored in this contest. For a free estimate on your roof, text or call 614-761-ROOF. and make it 13-0.
Well, this touchdown set up by another punt return that looked like it had the ability to go all the way, and this looked way too easy for Nick Mosley. Over the left side of that offensive line behind Keaton Snyder, Brock Egan, the center Donovan Sanchez, doing a good job of controlling the offensive line. There you see the extra point is up, and it is good. And just like that, Pickerington Central leads in this game 14-0.
Brock Egan is a legacy. His brother Brody started on the line on the 17th state championship game. Tigers early, 14-0. We'll take a break on the CW Columbus and Stadium. Special teams very important for Pickerington Central, and so far in this contest they have punt returns of 53 yards and 23 yards. The 53-yarder good for a score, and just like that they're up 14-0. Here now is your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. 3 plays, 22 yards after that 23-yard return. Took just over a minute, and once again the Tigers with the score. It's now 14-0. And by the way, there's a 30-point rule in the second half in Ohio high school football, so if the margin is 30 or greater, we will have a continuous clock in the second half until it would change if it would go below 30. Gillum with his third kickoff return already in this contest has it up to the 18-yard line. And by the way, every contest for Pickerington Central has had that running clock in the second half at some point. And that's the one thing Jay Sherrod is concerned about. I'm not sure about the stamina of my guys because they haven't had to play 4 quarters.
Yeah, exactly right, Randy. When you've had that kind of a circumstance, I talked to Buddy White, the head football coach at Reynoldsburg, before the game. He was just, very much aware of the fact that it's been running clock for their entire season. But he believes that they've got the ability to sustain drives against this football team, and what they've got to do is just start building up some first downs.
And the Raiders have it 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line. And on this Beppler Insurance first down, the run up to the 25-yard line by Jeremiah Crawford Smith. Nice gain on that play. So it was a Beppler Insurance first down. For a free quote, visit BepplerInsurance.com.
They passed to set up the run, and this was going to create opportunities for Crawford Smith, averaging 8.3 yards per try in this pass offense.
Gillison made the tackle, and this time they'll try it to the right side again, and a first down. And, that's one thing maybe that Reynoldsburg may want to do more of is kind of, I don't want to say shorten the game, but get that ball control going with the running game, because normally Reynoldsburg is a team, Jeff, to be quite honest, they could throw out 3 consecutive downs. If they click on one of them for 40 yards, it works. Against a team like the Tigers, I'm not sure that's the right scenario.
No, I think you really want to try and test this defense. It's a good one, but I think you do have the ability to be able to be balanced against this defense.
And once again, Crawford Smith, he's got some room up to the 40, up to the 42-yard line before he's knocked down on the play. Coming up from the secondary to make the hit is Lorenzo Stiles Jr. And now the Raiders moving the football on the ground.
I want you to watch wide receiver Jabari Mitchell, just a sophomore, number 35, is going to be out here in your screen blocking downfield right there. He did a terrific job being out there on the perimeter, creating the opportunity to be able to spring that one for a much longer run.
A pickup of 14 on the play once again. Off the right side, and this time maybe only a yard or two, so they'll get the ball from the 43 up to the 44-yard line. Pickerington Central is a team that on defense, Jeff, gives up a whopping, are you ready? 47 yards to the opponent. 30 on the ground, 17 and a half throwing the ball. That is it.
Per game.
Yeah, per
Not
game.
per quarter.
No, that's it. And they've only given up 1 touchdown, and that was in the 4th quarter. The pass across the middle, a little high, but snared nicely by Marquise Gillum. And now they're mixing the run with the pass, and the Raiders, looking like they're getting their feet on the ground offensively, have a first down.
Yeah, Marquise Gillum, a diminutive at 5'5". Watch him go up high for the ball and protect it and take it down. He's been great all season long. That's reception number 25 for him. And free safety Alex Stiles, the youngest of those Stiles boys, came up and made the hit.
A nice gain on the play. First down, going long downfield for the middle man, and the pass incomplete. And actually the 2 receivers kind of converging on the play, because that time you had Savion Torrance and also Jabari Mitchell kind of colliding outside the hash for that football.
Impressive how Dejon Jennings is able to deliver that ball long, and it seems to be on time and on target, but great coverage back there by Lorenzo Stiles. We've talked about number 3 playing that cornerback spot. And there's coaches out there, college coaches, high school coaches, that think Lorenzo Styles as a cornerback might be the best in the country.
And he is committed to Notre Dame. To Gillum out in the flat, and brought down by the shoulder inside the 44-yard line. So this is a Reynoldsburg team that is now moving the football. We mentioned they're 3-2. They average, the Raiders, 393.2 yards total offense, 182 on the ground, and 210 passing the football.
What a good job, A.J. Sanders, who's a strong safety. You saw him make the tackle there, number 6 by the jersey. But he was engaged with the blocker. He was able to get himself free from the blocker and still be able to make the play.
And he's committed to Eastern Illinois. So they need 7 more on this third down play as we're under 5.5 left to go in the first quarter. On the slant, a little too strong on the play. Pass intended for number 35, cutting across the middle, Jabari Mitchell. So now what do you do on fourth down? Do you punt it? You go for it here.
Well, I think you got to be really, really careful with field position against this Tiger football team. And there's the throw over the middle. Catchable? Maybe. But I'm sure that Dejon Jennings would like to have that one over again as Buddy White chooses to send the punt team on, even though his quarterback, Dejon Jennings, was kind of suggesting, Coach, let's go for it. But I think it's really, really important in a field position game early to pin them back inside the 20.
Styles back deep. Barco to punt again. He's had 1 block this season, standing at his own 43-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're going after him here.
Floating snap, pressure from the outside, and he hurried the kick, which he had to do just to get it off. It'll trickle out of bounds to the far side, but if he doesn't hurry that, because that thing floated back, that was a bit of a knuckleball, and a good job by Barco to get that and pull it down. Time now to check out the Honda keys to the game for this contest. First of all, for Pickerington Central, they have to play like Tigers. In other words, we talk about what they've done, just play like they normally do every week, and go in styles. We mentioned Lorenzo and Alex. Those are a couple guys to watch for the Tigers in this contest. On the other side, for Reynoldsburg, Dijon is on. We mentioned Mr. Jennings is going to be a focal point, a catalyst for this team tonight. He has to stay that way and be fearless. You have to forget that the team next to you, as you mentioned, Jeff, is borderline dynasty. Timeout. Those are your Honda's keys to the game, and we've got a timeout on the field with 5:18 left to go. So the timeout is taken by Reynoldsburg. They'll burn their first one in high school football in Ohio. You do get 3 timeouts per half, and also in high school football in Ohio. This year, the officials do not touch the football at all. If you're the running back, you take it back, you hand it to your center. The officials put a bean bag where the ball is supposed to be, and as the center, you put it on top of the bean bag or next to it and snap it from there. Don't miss the biggest plays from the biggest high school games in Central Ohio. Join Fox 28's Clay Hall for First Scores on Fox 28. Tonight at 10:45, sponsored by Spectrum. Look like the guy we talked to a couple minutes ago on the sidelines.
Certainly does. Certainly does.
And again, check that out.
Reynoldsburg to start that drive there, Randy, inside the 20-yard line was 1 short of the number of bodies that they needed. And this is one of the things that Buddy White was talking about with only 3 practices before they had their first game in pads. This was a team that, with a lot of young football players, just getting lined up right and having the right personnel package out there has been a challenge.
I want to correct, too. First Scores is on Friday nights. We're doing a Thursday and a Friday night game this week, so that'll be tomorrow night at 10:45. Otherwise, Clay would have to hurry back to the studio right now. Coming around on the handoff. Is there anything there? Not a whole lot there. Defense works, but also the turf monster came up and helped make the hit on the play as they try to bring it from the top back around to Gavin Edwards. Edwards, 4 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. This time brings it around, and good job to go low that time by Sufyan Sangari to help make the hit on the play. So put it back at the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from there. Under 5 left to go in the quarter, and Pickerington Central already up by 2 touchdowns.
Real active defensive player. Keep your eye on number 27, Anthony Mobley, tonight. He's on the left side of your screen and down in the stance.
3 to the top. They'll dump it out to Mosley, who's got a nice little gain up the sidelines. Did he step out? Yes, he did. He tried to tightrope, and he stepped out of bounds. We'll see where he did that at 4:34 on the clock. Guy in Nick that used to wear number 22, a power runner with breakaway speed, and a returning starter.
They work a lot on these plays in their warm-ups, just making sure that the quarterback can get linked up with the receivers. And you can see in just these 5 games already, Nick Mosley, 75 catches on the season.
Gain of 12 on the play out to the 32. I'll move the sticks again for another first down. There's Garner Wallace, 6'4", 200, committed to Northwestern, probably as a defensive back on this Bepler first down. And he'll tuck it and take it himself up to around the 34, maybe the 35-yard line. You know you're doing well as a quarterback if you have positive rushing yards. He's got 44 carries for 304 yards and 5 touchdowns and a long of 33 before that run.
Yeah, and I'll correct myself that Nick Mosley was 75 rushing attempts, not passing catches. And again, the quarterback is not the primary runner in this attack, but he can get it taken care of, Randy, and pretty well balanced. If he doesn't see anything down there, he's going to take the ball and go.
Woodfork on the tackle on this second down play. They need 7, and they're going to get 7. And they're going to get 10 and maybe even 12 as well, too. It's a nice gain up the middle for Orlando Kamara, who's the backup running back, 22 carries, 100 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and a long of 42 coming into this contest.
4 seniors and 1 sophomore in that offensive line for the Pickerington Central Tigers. They are very effective in terms of being able to have their assignments and maintain their blocks and good heads-up running.
1 wide to either side and a slot man to the top to boot, too. And on the delay, to the left side they go, across middle, flag on the play, and still fighting and churning down the sidelines all the way inside the 35-yard line. That is Lorenzo Stiles Jr. who gets the head off that time. We mentioned that he's kind of omnipresent on the field. We'll see what Chris Baker and company have to call with this flag at the 49. Could be a hold on the offense.
Holding on the offense. Number 24. It's a 10-yard penalty. So first down.
I love the way he delivers it. It sounds like he's talking from his chair in his living room. Yep. That's Chris Baker. Again, you saw the names at the beginning. Center judge is Dalen Myricks. The umpire, Scott Bauer. The line judge is Joe Goakachea. And also the back judge, Patrick Hunter.
Pretty talented football player there. But Brooks Kunkel, the tight end, guilty of the hold on the play and going to bring up first down and 20.
For Mr. Wallace on the delay, hands it off the left side. Look at the burst into the secondary, across midfield, all the way down to the 47-yard line as Saran Smith that time gets the carry.
Boy, so many different weapons on this offensive side, and you can see here Saran Smith in there. He is the quick scat back part of that. The other guys are more of the power. Nick Mosley, number 4, is 5'11", 215. Saran Smith, not nearly that big, but boys, he got some great quicks.
Young man who likes church and forensic science as well, too. His cousin, Will Smith, played for Texas Tech and also the Dallas Cowboys. On the second down play, they push it, they shove it, they rugby it all the way inside the 45 to around the 44-yard line. Good gang tackle that time, but still a nice gain for the Tigers on the play. As getting the handoff was Nick Mosley. Mosley, did you see that again here in Ohio? You don't give it back to the official, hands it off to his center.
I think after 5-6 weeks now, these guys have got it down pat. I don't know if we'll ever go back to the old way or not, Randy. It seems to work okay.
Well, they use that for 7-on-7, in the passing game in the past. And I don't know, I like the officials to touch it. But obviously with COVID, life has changed for everybody. So a third down and less than 1 now as we approach 2 minutes left to go in the quarter.
Changing the play at the line of scrimmage, and the quarterback has been given the ability to do so. You see Garner Wallace in there taking charge.
Back judge with his hand up, less than 5 seconds to snap it. They do it just in time. They've got the yard and then some inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. So Mosley will get the first down on the play. Hit is made by Chris Carr, the middle linebacker. So that will move the sticks again now. And coming up at the start of the second quarter, we'll join Mike Todd on the Custom-Air Heating and Cooling sideline for a conversation with Pickerington Central Principal Stacy Tenenbaum. That's coming up at the start of quarter number 2, which is 1 minute and 45 seconds away.
Give credit to Nick Mosley there on that short yardage gain. It didn't look all that special, but everything was kind of collapsing down. And running backs have a tendency to use that peripheral vision and look for the sidelines and just try and run it around the end. He did a good job of making sure that he stayed behind that big offensive line and got the first down.
And Nick is committed to Bowling Green. First and 10 from the 39-yard line. Little boot this time from Wallace. Looks, and he's going to tuck and keep and get it to the 35-yard line before he steps out of bounds. So the young man who likes calculus and is part of the National Honor Society and the class president gets a nice gain on first down.
Well, there's your RPOs, run-pass options, where you get your mobile quarterback out on the flat, and you see his rushing attempts so far this year. 5 touchdowns rushing, but he got out there and he had the option of being able to either tuck it and run or find a receiver and dump it in the flat. Good decision. Great gain on first down.
2-back look now on the second down and 6 from the 35-yard line. It'll be Mobley. Nice little hop step inside the 30 to the 26. Jeff, you were a running back, allegedly. I'm not old enough to remember you, but how difficult is that hop step? I mean, is that something that is innate to a running back, or is that something you can teach?
Well, I think you've got to have it in your DNA to be able to make that work and, be able to sit there and plant your step and go ahead and finish. The important part is to keep those pads low as you're going north and south, and that's exactly what Nick Mobley was able to accomplish.
And he's got a first down for his team inside the 26 at the 25-yard line. Going to mark it officially at the 26, so it'll be 1st and 10 from there. Under a minute left to go in the quarter. And the Tigers already up 14-0 in this one with a 4 wide-out look, evenly balanced on both sides. One back in the backfield on the Spepler Insurance first down. Mobley on the delay, nothing fancy here. This is north-south football and a gain of about 5 on the play. The big guys up front in Kunkel, Snyder, Egan, Sanchez, Meek, and Asamoah doing the job. And the size, they go respectively at 225, 275, 250, 280, 260, and 300.
Kobe Asamoah, who plays that right tackle position, number 52, an interesting story in that he used to live in Reynoldsburg. And the family moved to Pickerington. And all of a sudden, he found himself on a football team.
2nd down and 4 from the 20-yard line. On the handoff, pushing the pile is Styles, and he's got it near the sticks, and that will be the last play. Oh, they're going to stop it with 1/10 of a second left until they move the sticks, and now they'll crank it again, and that should end the quarter. With Pickerington Central up 14-0 and driving for a 3rd score, we'll find out what happens the final week of the regular season here in the state of Ohio. The Tigers on top of the Raiders 14-0. You're watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW and Stadium.
Well, it's my honor to be joined by the principal at Pickerington Central High School, Stacy Tenenbaum. Stacy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, Pickerington Central has been doing learning as far as hybrid goes. A little bit at school, a little bit at home, and you guys have been back for about a month or so. How's that been going so far?
It's actually going fabulous, beyond anything I could have expected. The staff and the students are just working so hard to do the combination learning as well as adhere to the expectations that are set for COVID.
Okay. What are you excited about this year at Pickerington Central High School as the principal, Stacy?
It's always exciting to have a new school year. We're excited to have the kids back in the building. We're really excited about a levy we have coming up in November to hopefully build some much-needed space for the growth in our district.
Okay. What's it been like this week, knowing that the team's going to be on Thursday Night Lights? What's the energy been like in the building at Pickerington Central?
It's always an exciting time to showcase our students and our Tiger pride. So anytime we can do that on the TV is an exciting time for us.
Stacy, absolute joy to talk to you once again. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Thursday Night Lights. Once again, Stacy Tenenbaum, the principal at Pickerington Central High School. Guys?
13th play on that drive garners about 4 yards for Mr. Garner Wallace, as that was on a Dairy Queen of Pickerington first down. So now it's 2nd down for the Tigers, looking for their 3rd score in this contest inside the Schiff & Associates red zone. It is Mobley. He's got a gap inside the 10 and takes it down near the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal Tigers now. So we played just 12 seconds of the second quarter. Randy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, and Mike Todd and the entire Image Video crew. Glad to have you aboard.
Good blocking. Really good job up front. And Gavin Edwards, the wide receiver. I really like what this football team does at the, blocking positions by, getting out there and not only being that star guy when you're catching the football, but if you want to play Pickerington Tiger football, you have to do all facets of the game correctly.
2-back set, and that means as the other team, you pick your poison, basically. Mobley tries to slide inside to the left, spins, does a 360, and breaks the plane for the touchdown. With 11:28 left to go, then it was 20-0 in favor of Pickerington Central. Folks, they've won 2 state championships in the last 3 years, and they do not rebuild, Jeff. They just reload.
They really do, Randy, and that's touchdown number 2 on the night for Nick Mobley, going behind that big offensive line, and look at the push that he's getting up front. That is just really solid blocking by the offensive line, and this is a pretty stout Reynoldsburg defense with some big bodies up front, and they were able to dominate.
And on the ground, his 14th touchdown of the season. Now for Vollmer to go 28 of 29 on extra points, plenty of leg, and he does so. And the cushion is now 21 points now for the visiting school. 21-0, defending Division I Big School State champs in Ohio, and you see why. And you're seeing it right now on the CW Columbus and Stadium. 21-0 now. Pickerington Central on top of this one early in the second quarter. All right, Supernatural fans, including Jeff, the moment you have been waiting for is almost here. 1 week from tonight, the final chapter in 15 years is about to be written. Don't miss the season debut of Supernatural right here on the CW Columbus starting at 8. Every time I think of Supernatural, Jeff, I think of you for some reason.
You need help.
Guilt by association. Here's your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. 15 plays, 80 yards. You usurped nearly half the quarter. 5:50 off the clock, and the third time they have dented the goal line. And Vollmer again to boot for the fourth time. And Gillum, the opportunity to return the kick for time number 4, and that time goes about 4 yards before he is brought down. Great job by the coverage team of the Tigers to make the hit on the play. And helping to lead the charge, big number 16, is Gavin Edwards.
Yeah, Gavin Edwards, a wide receiver on the offensive side, getting down there to make the play.
And Orlando Camara. Total offense in that first quarter, 96-26 in favor of Pickerington Central in that first quarter, and we had a grand total of 4 penalties, 15 yards on Pickerington Central, 2 for 7 on the Raiders, 6 first downs to 3. Tigers winning that category as well, too. So 1st and 10 for the Raiders from the 12-yard line, and the spin move is going to probably mean they lose a yard or so on play. Great job of that defense helping to lead the charge. Big number 9, Reese Bransford, helping to make the hit on the play.
Now, this is where Buddy White and his football coaching staff and the leaders on his football team are going to have to rally the troops, down 21-0 and getting really poor field position to start this drive, backed up inside their own 15-yard line, ball at about the 10.
Bransford, 17 solos, 26 assists, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for a loss. 2nd down and 11 now. Jennings going to go long downfield, looks, and the pass is picked off on the play. Intercepted by number 15. That's Alex Stiles, trying to outdo his brother. Off the contact at the 10-yard line, just bounced away from it, Jeff. And a great job by Stiles, who now has his 3rd interception, good for 46 yards in return yardage. And with 10:40 left to go, the Tigers are knocking on the door again.
They were in a cover 3, which meant everybody had a third of the field, and Alex Stiles playing center field. Look at the athleticism of this sophomore, 6'4", able to go up there and high point the football. And I don't think Dijon Jennings ever saw number 15 coming there. He was trying to get the ball to Marquise Gillum and unsuccessful there. He took a lick at the end, but held onto the football. And once again, the Tigers have a short field.
Strong and gazelle-like in one body. Alex Stiles, 6'4", 205, and just a sophomore. Side the Schiff and Associates red zone again, this time on a keeper, and Wallace going to carry defenders all the way inside the 3 near the 2-yard line. Guy in Garner Wallace, who comes from an athletic family, his sister playing hoops at Kent State, his brother running track at The Ohio State University, his dad played baseball at Wright State, in fact was drafted as well too.
Yeah, I thought they may have missed a handoff here, but it was a read option by the quarterback, and he was able to fake the ball and go ahead and keep it going inside. Now, Garner Wallace is a young man that I think has got a great upside to be able to play this game on Saturday, but the COVID thing has really affected a guy like him who's a senior.
He'll be a DB probably in the next level. Mosley will take it in for his 3rd touchdown in this contest, his 15th on the year. And the Tigers, as they often do, make it look easy. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown with that tally for the squad from Pickerington Central. For a free estimate on your roof, text or call 614-761-ROOF.
Again, running over that right side, and good job by the offensive line, and they are dominating things right now.
I'm going to wait for this extra point and then give you a stat that will tell you about the dominance of Pickerington Central's Vollmer. Trying to go 4 for 4 in this game. Plenty of leg. The kick is up. It is now 28-0. They have now outscored their opponents 168-5 in the first half. They've given up basically a field goal on the offense with a faux pas for a safety. So 168-5 is what they've outscored the opponents so far in the first half of their games, as we're in week number 6. Normally a 10-week season in high school football in Ohio, but because of COVID, it's gone 6 weeks this year. Then the playoffs will start next week for some schools. Some will have a bye if there's an odd number of schools in their division, in their region. And that's what happens when you kind of have to change things up like they've done. But a congratulatory message should go out to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for making football happen this year.
Yeah, really good job of organizing things and staying behind these programs, and kudos to the programs, the coaches, the administrators, and the kids, most importantly, that have done things right. Here you see the scoring summary. It's just 2 plays, 9 yards, and only took 39 seconds, thanks to Hilliard Lawn and Garden.
And with that, it's now 28-0. Again, the continuous clock does not take effect until the second half if the margin is 30 points or greater. That being said, just a reminder, it's the coolest halftime show in Central Ohio coming up in just a few minutes. We'll break down the hottest stars and the coolest plays thus far in the custom air heating and cooling cool plays of the first half. Thanks to Jeff Reed and the gang of Custom Air for their support. All the great sponsors that have supported high school football this year. Folks, so many people could have just backed away from this, but I've got to tell you, so many people were also so thirsty, Jeff, for high school football to return. Our thanks to everybody at the CW and Image Video. Our thanks to Tony D'Angelo for spearheading everything here locally in this Columbus, Ohio market. Vollmer about to get a tired leg. We'll boot it again. Same thing on the return with Gillum. He's got it up to the 20-yard line, maybe the 21, and the Raiders will take over again. Offensively, what has worked for Reynoldsburg?
Well, Randy, if you look at their first half, 13 rushing yards, 13 passing yards, not much. Now, they've tried to get the ball deep. I think one of the things that they're going to have some success with is with crossing routes. Early in the football game, they tried to hit Marquise Gillum over the middle on a crossing route. He got hit as soon as the ball got there. But I got to believe that they're going to have to go with some of that misdirection, because right now the Pickerington Central defense playing a lot of cover 3, which is not going to allow the ball to be thrown over top of them.
Time now for another Dairy Queen of Pickerington first down for the Raiders. They'll have it just past the 20 at the 21-yard line. A blizzard sounds good right now. To eat, not to live through. Hand off around the side, nothing there. Whip down on the play is Daniel Broomfield, getting some playing time tonight. We didn't know if we get a chance to carry the ball tonight. He's coming back from a finger injury. Daniel, 34 carries, 278 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was their number 1 running back. Look at that right hand. He's got it in a cast-like device. You can see the mitten that he's wearing on it. Very difficult. Lorenzo Styles coming up to make the play.
A minute looks like when a base runner's at first base, you know, and he's getting ready to slide in a second. He wears a glove like that.
There you go. There's a good look.
You can see it's a cast with a glove over the top.
Yep, covering that finger.
Lost a couple on the play, second and a dozen. Jennings across the middle, guns it, has his man, passes complete. Gillum caught it, and then he was caught on the play by Saron Smith.
Those are the crossing routes, Randy, that I'm talking about. I think you've got the ability with some of your athleticism to be able to find people, and as long as the quarterback can deliver it on target, on time, you've got an opportunity to make some plays.
Gillum with a nice catch.
I was just going to say, how about a guy 5'5", 135, willing to go across the middle? How cool is that?
Against the defending state champs.
That is awesome.
But it's going to be negated because there's a penalty on the play. Mr. Baker marching back to the goal line, and with the penalty against Reynoldsburg, it's going to mark the ball to the 10-yard line. So holding calls got it back to the 10.
These are the growing pains for a young football team that Buddy White has realized that you're going to go through these pains, but the future for this program really looks good.
It does, but you're seeing the difference, Jeff, between rebuild and reload, too, between these two programs, too. 8:56 left to go, but what a great leader the Raiders have, and we had movement up front. See if we had an encroachment of the neutral zone or if somebody was drawn off. Now, I think it'll be encroachment on the defense up front. Mr. Baker, what do you think?
Yeah, a lot of pointing fingers down there, wasn't there?
Chris comes our way and says,
Dead ball. Offside. Defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the luxury of having a large roster. You know, when you look at the Pickerington roster, obviously you can't trust everybody in this COVID era, but when you have 83A, 87A, and 99A as numbers, that's saying you've got a lot of guys. Off balance, Jennings with the throw, trying to get it to Gillum, but the pressure was on near the goal line, and had to throw that one, Jeff, off his wrong foot.
Yeah, and Randy, if they're going to hit those crossing patterns, they can't be the slow developing ones. It's got to be 1, 2, 3, deliver the football, get rid of it quick. And Marquez Gillum came all the way from one side of the field to the other, and that's just asking too much of your quarterback and your offensive line to be able to hold that long against this pretty good Central Tigers defense.
Interesting to see a guy like Marquise Gillum, who's the smallest guy out there, being the biggest target here in the first half for the Raiders. Down right now by 4 tallies. They go with 3 wide at the top, 1 at the bottom. Jennings with pressure on, decides to tuck, wants to throw, guns it, pass tipped around and nearly intercepted on the play. A gift was nearly handed to William Dukes IV, and he dropped it.
William Dukes IV is a linebacker. They've got 4 linebackers only, usually 2 down linemen in there, and this is a pretty good play by quarterback Dejon Jennings, getting rid of the football, trying to find something that's going to happen there, and nearly came up with a pick. Was William Dukes IV.
So Barco to punt, standing at his own 1-yard line. Lorenzo Styles with a 53-yard punt return this week for a touchdown. Last week, 49 yards against Lancaster. Pressure's on, and I think they got that. Either that or it was a knuckleball. Pressure was put on by A.J. Sanders, and it'll be a short field for the squad from Pickerington to traverse, up by 28 already in this one.
Yeah, that's only going to be a punt of less than 10 yards, Randy, when it's all marched off, and you could see the pressure coming. They nearly got it on the first punt of the night. They went after him. Let's see if the ball was tipped. Nope, just a shank. But what caused that was that A.J. Sanders was right in his face. Not good enough protection by the special teams of Reynoldsburg.
Net of 3 yards in that punt inside the Schiff and Associates red zone, and the numbers on Nick Mosley so far in this contest. We mentioned 3 touchdowns. He's touched it 9 times, so every third time he takes it in for a score. Mr. Wallace and company trying for that 5th touchdown here in the first half. On the delay, to the outside it goes, and scooting inside the 10, inside the 5, and down to the 3-yard line, spinning around is Saran Smith.
Ken, he's just a little bit of extra in there. You know, you got the big guy Nick Mosley who's going to pound you and who's got pretty decent speed, and then you give the jitterbug Saran Smith the ability to do it, and look at him breaking ankles down there. That is just terrific, and he's able to head towards the corner of the end zone. They've got him in business inside the 5-yard line.
Now, do you allow Mosley to hog it for a 4th time?
I don't know that there's hogging. There's a lot of pride in that offensive line with your big running back, and I would certainly expect Nick Mosley to be carrying the ball here.
They go short side. The wing is to the bottom. The wide side's to the top. They'll go to the wide side, and he'll scoot inside the 2 to the 1, and he breaks the plane for a touchdown. 8:18 left to go. It is the 4th touchdown for Mr. Mosley in this contest, and I think when you score 4, you get the Mr. before your name, and that is touchdown number 16 on the season for Nick.
Watch his little hesitation right here, setting up the blocks in front of him, finding where the hole is. He found the seam, and then he accelerated. Watch from the end zone, the back camera here. Boom, he's accelerated in there. He's able to wait for those blocks to be able to be created in front of him, finds the hole, and executes.
Volmer to go 30 of 31. Snap, kick, plenty of leg. This guy's got a rocket for a leg, too. And Mitchell Volmer, 6'1", 190, and a senior. Just like that, it is 35-0 here in the first half. His older brother, by the way, Brandon, kicked for the team in the pass as well, too. Tigers up by 5 converted touchdowns. We'll take a break here on the CW Columbus Sense Stadium. Nick Mosley holding the bench down for a short period of time over there. 4 touchdowns for him here in the first half. It is 35-0 Pick Central on top of Reynoldsburg in this contest in week number 6. There's your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring drive. Jeff, didn't take long to go 18 yards, did it?
Well, it was a bad punt and got good pressure on the special teams play of Pickerington Central has been really good tonight. Their kickoff coverage has been spectacular. They have a punt return for a touchdown. They had a 2nd punt return that nearly went for a score. And I want you to watch how quickly this special teams unit gets down and covers the football on the kickoff.
And there's the boot, and the return going to start from the 6 for Gillum this time. Marquise has got it to the 15, to the 20, and hits the Tiger wall right at the 21-yard line. So about 15 yards on the return, and that's where the Raiders will start on offense down 35-0. As the first half comes to a close, stick around. We'll hear from both head coaches. First, we'll hear from Jay Sherrod as he heads off the field at the end of the first half in the Bob Evans Coach's Corner with our very own Mike Todd. He is our very own. We tried to sell him, but nobody would take him.
Oh, I know what. He's got the Dairy Queen, too.
Oh, that's true.
That's right. So Reynoldsburg offensively, Randy, shut down tonight. Obviously, a goose egg on the scoreboard, but averaging almost 37 points per game, almost 400 yards of total offense. They pass pretty well balanced with their run, 182 running, 210 passing in the game. But right now, Pickerington's defense has been really, really good.
So we'll see what that offense of the Raiders and A.J. Lash have up their sleeves on a 1st and 10 from... Going to mark it up closer to the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. Jennings back to throw on the quick pop across the middle, and getting a quick pop is Marquise Gillum after he makes the catch on the play. So a nice gain. That'll move it. Right now, if you're the Raiders, Jeff, you need one consistent drive to kind of milk some of that clock and just build your confidence again, I would assume.
Absolutely, and this is a good way of being able to do it. Give your quarterback something with pass and catch possibilities. Those are the crossing patterns I've been talking about, or the quick slants, and that will set up the ability to be able to hit the home run ball.
Go with the triangle to the bottom, a late handoff there, and it's finally taken. I'm not sure at first if the ball was going to be given up by Jennings to Broomfield or not, but finally he did get the ball and got the ball up across the 30 to the 35 and maybe all the way up to the 37.
Yeah, this is a read option. The quarterback was actually trying to pull the ball, and I think Broomfield, who's been out for a couple weeks with that finger injury, just decided if you're going to put it in there, I'm taking it.
And Jennings will keep it this time, and Dijon will get it across the 40 up to the 42-yard line. So now a little rhythm developing for this Raider offense, down by 5 touchdowns for Reynoldsburg, a team that made the playoffs back in 2001, 15, 18, and 19. And we saw them a couple of years ago win the OCC championship in their division when they beat Lancaster in a week number 10 contest. This time, Broomfield taking it around the left side, and he is whipped down that time, waiting for him to make the hit at the corner, big number 15. That is Alex Stiles coming up from the secondary.
Well, not only the secondary, but the free safety position, making a tackle in the backfield. Are you kidding me? How about the read that he made there from his free safety spot? Like he was shot out of a cannon. Alex Stiles comes up to make the play. You don't see many free safeties who are going to stop running plays in the backfield.
Especially as a sophomore. 3rd down, they need a half dozen. They need time to throw the ball. And they don't get either. Jennings goes down back of the 37-yard line near the original line of scrimmage. So now it's going to be 4th down and long with half the second quarter still left on the clock.
Tyler Gillison in there along with C.J. Doggett. You take this long, it's eventually going to collapse on you. You've got to find a way out of the back end, and the pressure coming again up the middle from number 99, Brandon Mcdougall. He's a 5'10", 295-pound senior.
A good gap player as well, too. 19 solos, 18 assists, 1 sack for him coming into this contest. Again, the quicker kick by Bartko. Doesn't really have any choice, and again, it sails out of bounds. Last time it went to the right, this time it goes to the left. So the good field position again for Pickerington Central with 5:53 left to go in the first half, and up by a count of 28-0 in this one. At the end of the second quarter, it's a Music Go Round halftime show featuring the Music Go Round marching band sound. Mike Todd profiles the Reynoldsburg High School marching band and gives you a peek at their halftime performance. All that more coming up on the Music Go Round halftime show. So a short field again for the visiting squad from Pickerington. We used to call this, Jeff, the Battle of Route 256, but Reynoldsburg now has a couple of campuses, so you can't call it that anymore. Let's get ready for another Dairy Queen of Pickerington first down for the Tigers. Off the right side, they push and push and get it inside the 44 to maybe the 43. I think that was Smith on the carry that time, number 2.
It was Saron Smith in there. And if you notice Nick Mosley, after he scored his 4th touchdown here in the first half as he went to the bench, he was a little ginger over there. I mean, it looked like he was kind of favoring that right leg a little bit. And I think at this stage, if I'm Jay Sheridan, I'm heading into the playoffs with the amount of talent that he's got there. I think Nick Mosley is going to get shut down for the rest of the evening, and I think that's the right decision to make.
Again, that's the one concern he has, though, is testing the stamina of his team, because every one of his games has had a continuous running clock at some point in the second half. Well, 2nd and 7.
They can put him on the stationary bike then.
There you go. Little shovel pass, little Utah football there. They get it down to the 40-yard line. That time it tossed forward to Gavin Edwards, who's had a pretty nice role in this contest already, Jeff, when you think about what he's done on special teams and also getting the ball now on offense as well, too.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Shovel pass right there. That counts as a forward pass. You can see the polling guard, Brock Egan, the sophomore, coming out there. Great execution. You can tell they're all operating on the same page.
Brock likes world history and the Army. Did you ever get a shovel pass as a running back?
I don't think we even knew the shovel pass existed back in the stagecoach days.
Is that Lee Grosscup, I believe, back in Utah? Yeah. I saw pictures of you. Like, no video, just pictures of you. Actually, they were artist interpretation of you running the football.
Black and white.
Thank you. Quick pop, near side. Stiles has got it, and there's a gap, and that was the last chance to tackle Lorenzo as he tried to turn the corner. Nicely done by Teron Spencer to help make the hit on the play.
And a great heads up to Max Lamonaco, the wide receiver, number 8. Who is making a block out on the perimeter, and importantly, he's not allowed to be a crackback block. So what he did, he came up there, got himself in the way, and avoided the possibility of a penalty for those crackback blocks that we've seen so often. I want to talk about Max Lamonaco in a second.
He's the son of the D coordinator, too, Jeff Lamonaco, right? An 87 grad of Pickerington Central. Actually, it was Pickerington back then. Rolling is Wallace. And all alone, near side, look at this, and remembered everything but the football did Orlando Camara.
Yeah, he was not obviously the intended receiver on the play, but Orlando Camara was wide open and Garner Wallace was able to shake free. They're looking to flood the zone on the right. This is not a throwback, but Garner Wallace sees in his periphery a wide open receiver.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my Orlando.
So now it'll be second down and 10 with 3:49 left to go. Garner Wallace running the show offensively. Wonder if we'll see Braden Mantooth, the 6'4", 170-pound sophomore, running some of the show perhaps in the second half. Wallace rolling, looking, gunning, has his man, passes complete all the way down inside the 23 to the 22-yard line. That is Brooks Kunkel, who had one catch coming into this contest, has two today. And by the way, he's got a birthday coming up on Sunday. So happy birthday to Brooks, young man who likes CrossFit, Frisbee golf, basketball, and is part of the Drug-Free Club and the National Honor Society at Pickerington Central.
Yeah, what a target at that size, 6'2", 225, going across, playing that tight end position. An effective blocker, Randy, but also gets himself into the passing game. Coming into tonight's game, he had 14 receptions and averaging 14 yards every time he touches the ball.
So let's call it 1st and 10 now. Another Dairy Queen of Pickerington first down, just past the 20-yard line. And they'll burrow their way inside the 17 to maybe the 16-yard line as Kamara on the carry that time. So he'll see a lot of action here. The winning moments of the first half and also in the second half as we're inside the Schiff & Associates red zone. This is a Pickerington Central team. Last year, 14-1 state champs. 2 years ago, 11-3. 3 years ago, 14-1 state champs. 4 years ago, 12-2. 5 years ago, 8-3. Then 11-1, 8-3, 7-3, 11-3, and 11-1. We've had 5 state champions in Central Ohio in the big school division since 2000. Upper Arlington's won 1, Davidson has won a couple, and Pickerington Central's won 2. They're halfway home, they need 5 more. Around the left side, good penetration as that time Smith tried to turn the corner, and there was absolutely nothing there. As waiting for him on the play was Anthony Mobley.
Yeah, that's the young man that I was talking about early in the football game. What a defensive monster he is. He was engaged up front with a pretty good offensive lineman, and Keaton Snyder was able to shake free, make things happen. Just a junior. Great upside for that young man, number 27, Anthony Mobley.
Who used to be a linebacker, now playing as a defensive end with just over 2 minutes left to go. It'll be third down with the ball resting at around the 20-yard line. Third down. They need about 9 to move the sticks again. 4 wide out look for the Tigers. Wallace sees the gap, and does he take it? Well, only for about a yard. What do you do here if you're Pickerington Central? You're up by 35. Do you test your field goal team?
I think one of the things you want to do, I mean, you're going to need field goals down the stretch, and if you've got a field goal kicker on your team, let's get him in there. I mean, let's go ahead, work on those special teams. Adding 3 points at this stage doesn't mean a whole lot, but the confidence of your football team being able to come up with what will be a 37-yard field goal is important.
Vollmer 0 of 2 on field goals so far this year. Bit of a high snap, the kick with plenty of leg. The kick is up and it's good. So he's 1 of 3. And add to that cushion now, it is 38-0 for the young man who likes swimming and lunch, not necessarily in that order. Right.
You know, I was talking about Max Lamonaco a little bit ago, and Max Lamonaco is a kid that grew up in this program. You mentioned his dad played here. His dad is on the coaching staff now. He's been everything from a water boy to a ball boy, and now Max Lamonaco is the long snapper in all of the effective what they do, and he is considered the #1 long snapper in the nation. If you have a son, teach him to throw the ball looking backwards between his legs. There's a great future.
Start when he's 2. Join us tomorrow night for the final game of Honda's Thursday Night Lights season when Bishop Hartley plays host to St. Francis de Sales for the CCL Championship, starting at 7 o'clock right here on the CW Columbus, your ticket to high school sports. We are very blessed because we have a great crew led by Dean Marini, but we're blessed to, in the last 5 years, I think every year, have a game as our last game as for a league championship, and sometimes for a playoff spot as well, too. So we get lucky on the schedule sometimes, so we're very fortunate to have that game. We'll see Coach Wiggins and Coach Birchfield tomorrow night right here on the CW Columbus. For those of you watching on Stadium, we've been doing these games for nearly a decade here in Central Ohio, and honored to bring you the game here tonight. There's your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary, just over 4.5 minutes for the drive. 9 plays, 26 yards. It, for the first time, didn't end in 6, it ended in 3 instead. And boomed by Vollmer, and that will hit at the 3, and Did it go into the end zone? Oh, it went out of bounds just before the pylon. Inside the 1 yard line. I mean, it was dancing with the pylon down there. So the flag is tossed and it goes out of bounds. I don't think I've seen one go that close to the pylon before. Mr. Baker will remove the mask, turn our way, turn on the microphone, and Mello, tell us this.
Illegal free kick, out of bounds, kicking team.
There you go.
You know, Randy, it seems like a pretty simple play where, you know, the kicker is really dynamic, really good at what he does. He kicked it out of bounds. And you think, well, we're leading 38-0, no big deal. Those are the kinds of plays that are going to really frustrate Jay Sherritt. They wanted to kick the ball inside that hash mark, but you cannot have those kinds of mistakes.
Well, you got to coach them up on something when you're up by 38 points, too. Broomfield gets the handoff and goes nowhere. Great penetration on that play. There were 3 Tigers that went low. One of them was Dakari Frazier, who helped make that play. A big outside linebacker, 14 solos, 19 assists, and 5 tackles for a loss.
Jay Sherritt getting a lot of other football players in the game already. Good substitutions out there, rewarding those players that have worked hard during the week.
And no sense of urgency from the Raiders right now. Down by 38 with 45 seconds left to go in the first half. 3 wide to the top, 1 to the bottom, 1 back in the backfield. And Broomfield's got it around the left-hand side. Trying to motor as far as he can and get as much yardage as he can. He gets up to the 37-yard line.
You know, Pickerington won the coin toss at the beginning of the football game, deferred, so they will get the ball again at the beginning of the second half. And unless we have something really crazy happen here, when we're probably not going to see another play, we're going to have a running clock when we start that second half, and this will be the 6th game in a row that Pickerington Central's opponent has had a running clock.
And still, they've only given up 5 points in the first half all season, and only 1 touchdown. That was in the 4th quarter. Wideouts weren't ready for the start of the play, and the pass is going to be picked off. For the second time, it's Stiles on the interception. And Alex with a nice spin move, still on his feet. Down the sidelines, and the clock reads 0. If there's no flags, that will be the last play of the first half. So Stiles now with 4 interceptions on the season, 2 coming in this game. And at the break, Pickerington Central leads. And Jeff, we talked about domination, we talked about dynasty. I think we saw a little of that here in the first half indeed.
Yeah, we really have, Randy, and I was starting to think through some of the programs that are considered dynasties in Central, or in the state of Ohio. High school football, that was the easiest interception that young Stiles is ever going to have, but you take into account programs like Moeller, St. X, St. Ignatius, Mentor, Massillon, McKinley, and of course North Canton Hoover.
North Canton Hoover, who went there? Did Judd Logan go there?
Yeah, exactly. Those are the and I'm serious about dynasty teams where you find out that they have the ability to really, not win a state championship by chance. And another team you got to throw in there, I think, is Hilliard-Davidson.
Yes.
A couple state championships out of Central Ohio. Upper Arlington, also a couple of state championships. But right now, the queen bee, if you will, has got to be the Pickerington Central Tigers.
Upper Arlington, especially in the late 60s, they did have a state championship with Darrell Main, I believe, in 2000 with Simon Frazier in the crew as well, too. So with that being said, it is 38-0 here at halftime of this one. Pickerington Central trying to close out the regular season at 6-0. Reynoldsburg came into this contest at 3-2. Time now for the Bob Evans Coach's Corner, and the head coach of the Tigers standing by right now with our Mike Todd.
All right, Randy, thanks a lot. Jay, impressive efforts so far, but what were your takeaways from the first half?
We wanted to come out and get off to a fast start. I think we did that, and we wanted to play sharp football and take care of it, and I think we did that. One thing I think we're doing really well is tackling them in space. They've caught a few passes on us, got downfield, which, a little shake here could have been a 60-yard touchdown. We did some nice open field tackles, and hopefully we continue the second half.
All right, Jay, thanks a lot. Good luck during the second half. Guys, back up to you.
The 55-year-old head coach who turned 55, by the way, on September 4th. His defensive coordinator, by the way, Jeff Lamonaco, 4 years younger, born on the same day. And right now they're celebrating their birthday a little late, up 38-0 at halftime here. Music around halftime show is next. We'll take a break. You're watching Hottest Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College.
Raising Cane's is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Garrett Meek is a member of the Pickerington High School State Championship football team. He's earned first-team All-Conference and is an OCC Scholar Athlete in wrestling. Garrett carries a 3.95 GPA and is a member of the National Honor Society. He's also a part of the Drug-Free Club and the Central Ohio Muskie Fishing Club. Congratulations to this outstanding Raising Cane's Scholar Athlete.
You are watching the Music Around Halftime Show on Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus and on the Stadium Network. Pickerington Central in command of Reynoldsburg by a score of 38-0. My name is Mike Todd, and earlier today I was able to talk to the leader of the Reynoldsburg Marching Raider Band. Happy to be joined by Jason Gibson, the director of bands at Reynoldsburg High School. Jason, it's been a weird kind of year everywhere.
Absolutely.
What's it been like for the Reynoldsburg Marching Band?
Oh, it's been different for sure. We started later than we usually do. We usually start in June or July. We didn't get started till August. Working with the kids in pods of 9 and just kind of having everybody separated and trying to get as much done as we could. But the kids have been resilient. They've been awesome. They have really been working hard to make as much out of the season as we can. So,
what can we expect tonight from the Reynoldsburg Marching Band at halftime?
Sure. Well, we've been working on we call it Raider Rewind. So it's some of our favorites from the past years, and so which has been a treat for our seniors because they've played all of the music, but it's a new introduction to some of the newer members as well. But just going through and played a couple of those, and obviously the drill's a little bit different than we usually do. Kids are a little bit farther apart, not as close together as we normally will be, but still quality music and good marching, and that's what we aim for.
So what has happened so far this year that has made you really proud to be a band director at Reynoldsburg High School?
Well, I kind of alluded to it before, the resilience of the kids. I had a meeting with the seniors early on in the season, and when I had to tell them that we weren't going away to band camp, and that's something we usually do. I know they were upset about it, and but I told them, I said, we're going to get out of the season what we put into it. They've been, my leadership of the kids and the seniors have been fantastic, and they have really made it special for the younger members and for each other. We've tried to do as many of the little traditions that we have. Matter of fact, you just caught me right after we got done with our little mail time that we have, so it's been great.
All right. Well, Jason Gibson, director of bands at Reynoldsburg High School. Jason, thank you so much for joining us here on Thursday Night Lights. Coming up, more of the Music Around Halftime Show. You're watching Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus and the Stadium Network.
Raising Cane's is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Cassidy Collins is the team captain for the Reynoldsburg High School Soccer Club. She earned the Most Valuable Offensive Player Award and multiple varsity letters for soccer and basketball. Cassidy carries a 4.15 GPA and is on the National Society of High School Scholars. She's also a member of the Sporting Columbus Soccer Club. Congratulations to this outstanding Raising Cane's Scholar Athlete.
And welcome back to the Music Around Halftime Show. At the break right now, Pickerington Central dominating Reynoldsburg to the tune of 38-0. Back inside the press box, Randy Reinhardt and Jeff Logan. Jeff, we thought this could happen, and it did happen. And domination by the Tigers in every phase of this contest.
Well, I think Buddy White was afraid of this happening. He's got to measure his football team. How good are they against a really good team? Well, this might be the best team in America right now from a high school football team. And I kid you not, they are really, really good.
And how resilient will the Raiders be in the second half? That is a big key. Time now to check out the highlights from the first half. Lorenzo Styles got us going, Jeff, with a 53-yard punt return.
Well, great execution. Special teams has been really good for the Tigers tonight. And this is punt return touchdown number 2 on the season for Lorenzo Styles Jr.
And if you only remember one word, remember Mobley, because this time it's Nick around the left side for 3 yards. And he liked it so much, Jeff, he did it again, but not from 3 yards. Oh, no, this time from 4 yards out.
Well, very similar, getting great blocking up front. And in a minute, you're going to see him do that a couple more times into the end zone. But here's the pressure over the middle, and watch this pick by the other Styles, Alex. was able to come up with the big play and take it all the way down inside the 10-yard line.
Did I mention the name Mobley? How about this time from 2 yards? We've gone 3, 4, 2. We kind of like 3, so how about for our last customary cool play, again from 3 yards out for Nick Mosley for another touchdown. With the field goal, it's 38-0 here at the break. What a performance by the squad from Pickerington Central on the road. Our Mike Todd goes back into the Bob Evans coach's corner, and he's joined now by the head coach of the Reynoldsburg Raiders.
All right, Randy, thank you so much. Buddy, what was the message to your team at halftime?
Well, the main message is the fact that we kick off to them starting the second half. We need to stop. You know, it all starts with a stop. You know, we got to start finding them little victories. And, you know, and that's where it all starts. You know, we also talked about playing with a little bit of pride. You know, don't be that guy, you know, that everybody's talking about tomorrow morning. Boy, do you see what he did to him? You know, just get out there and keep competing. That's one thing that we talked about doing. You know, we reminded them we're not going to sit here and develop bad habits now because we got a game next week that counts, you know, that really, really counts. So, you know, it starts with this opening kickoff in second half. Just get a good kick, defense get a stop, and get the offense on the field. Just little victories.
All right, buddy, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Guys, back up to you.
Hey, I'm motivated. Let's go out there for that start of the second half. 38-0. Pick Central leads in this one. Back with the second half in just a moment. This is Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus and Stadium. Welcome back for the start of the second half. Week number 6, Pickerington Central, number 1 team of the state, leading Reynoldsburg 38-0 in this contest. Glad to have you aboard. Andy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, and Mike Todd getting ready for the second half kickoff. Tonight's kickoff, by the way, is sponsored by Ohio University, your path to success guaranteed. But seriously, that speech by Buddy White was very motivational, I think, for anybody.
Well, it's right on. I mean, he's got to go out and take little wins, whatever you can get. A stop, a third, 3 and out by his defense here to begin the third quarter, I think is going to be critical to the success of his football team being able to have the right attitude. Now, Randy, they wouldn't onside kick it here to start the second half, would they?
Would they? Perhaps.
Not
Will
a
they?
chance.
I don't think so. It is time to boot it to start the second half for the Raiders, and with the honors is Troy Kesterson, 5'8" and 135, and a junior. For the Tigers, once again, you're going to have a continuous clock in the second half for the squad from Pickerington Central, so you will not have to play, quote-unquote, if you will, a full game. From the 27-yard line, I think we might have had a fair catch that was called. So that's where they will take the ball to start their first drive of the second half, some 14 seconds in to quarter number 3. Not as much total offense, Jeff, as you thought you would see with a score of 38-0. Shorter drives for Pickerington Central. We also had a punt return for a touchdown, but you see the total offense there at 167 yards and 116 and 51 respectively, and very symmetrical, unfortunately, for the Raiders at 20-20.
Well, and half of those yards, 80 of it, came on one drive, Randy, so that gives you some idea of the short field that this football team was able to work on. And Garner Wallace returns as the starting quarterback, 5 out of 6 in the first half, 51 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, very efficient in delivering the football.
And Mosley, 10 carries, 44 yards, and 4 touchdowns. They'll keep it on the ground to start this second half and get the ball up to the 30-yard line, maybe the 31, so pick up about 3 on the play. As we're resetting the scene for you, Pickerington Central comes in 5-0 on the season. It is 3-2 for Reynoldsburg as that time on the carries, number 23, Orlando Kamara.
Kamara, junior, averaging about 4.5 yards a try. And probably the heir apparent. Saron Smith is a senior. Nick Mosley, a senior.
And Orlando, a guy that likes English, Xbox, his family and friends. And here's Garner Wallace. As we mentioned, he's a committee to Northwestern, probably as a DB. And this time they'll march it on the ground right up the middle across the 37 to the 38-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. So a nice gain on the play that time for number 28, Dylan Bryan. So Bryan on the carry will move the sticks with 10.5 left to go. Again, in high school football in the state of Ohio, if the margin is 30 or greater in the second half, the clock is continuous. It is something we may have helped a few years ago when we had a playoff game that was so lopsided. It was something we suggested on our broadcasts, and it's something that's been adopted by the OHSAA, and you can call it a mercy rule or whatever you like, but when you're down by 30, it's hard to come back. And the handoff this time, look at it up across the 40 to the 43. It's Orlando Kamara again, too. You mentioned just a junior, 5'11", 205. Jeff, I can't imagine all these guys with these massive frames. You know, you look at sophomores. You talk about Alex Stiles, who goes like 6'4" and 205, and just a sophomore. And so many sophomore and junior starters for both of these teams out there.
You know, Randy, a lot of these kids in Pickerington, and I don't want to mislead anybody in terms of how they're growing their football team, but you know, they've got a lot of homegrown football players that grew up in Pickerington and want to be Tigers there, but they've also become a destination place for families that want to raise their children, and they want them to be part of a championship football program.
Isaiah Henderson is the widest to the top of the set, but he's not going to get a chance to get the football in this play. As once again it goes to Brian, 6 feet 180 and a sophomore.
And probably the best example of that would be somebody like the Stiles family. You know, Lorenzo Stiles, could have lived anywhere. He's from Farrell, Pennsylvania originally when he came to Ohio State, and when he was looking for a place to live, he was certainly looking for a place where his kids could go to a terrific school, but also have the ability to be able to leverage this game of high school football into a college career. And that's exactly what's going to happen, obviously, for both of his sons. Lorenzo Stiles Jr. headed to Notre Dame.
On a third down now, they need just about 4, and we got flags on the play with 8:42 left to go. Mr. Baker comes our way and says,
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 23. It's a 5-yard penalty. Third down.
He just makes me want to sit down and relax every time he calls a penalty. He's very calm.
He's very much in charge, though. There's no question about that. 2 men in motion there. So that'll push them back on their third down try to now 9 yards. This would be the stop that Buddy White was looking for.
Trying to make a statement early in the second half. 1 man in motion now. And a little misdirection in the backfield, and maybe too much, as Wallace will have to eat that back at the 30-yard line. Jeff, we had like 2 near handoffs in the backfield there.
Broken play, Randy. It just did not materialize, and it looked like just some miscommunication with the backs. This was going to be a fake here, and it looked like a possibility that Orlando Kamara may have gone in the wrong direction there. Don't want to blame him without knowing all the details, but Jabari Mitchell coming in to make the play. And there's the stop. There's the little victory that Buddy White was looking for that he shared with our Mike Todd. Now watch again our snapper here. This is a world-class long snapper. You may think that that's no big deal, but watch how he zips it back here.
Little low. And nearly blocked on the play, and the Raiders are going to get decent field position. But still, you know, an effective job and very difficult to do, and you can make a living as a long snapper, especially in the NFL. 7:12 left to go. 38-0. Pickerington Central up. We'll take a break here on the CW Columbus and Stadium. Jeff, we talked about the domination of the Tigers in offense. How about on defense on third downs? According to Steve Bassford, our brilliant statistician, in 7 possessions, 3 sacks and 2 interceptions on third downs.
Pretty solid stuff. That's the way you play championship football. But congratulations to this football team for getting a stop there and getting an opportunity now to cut the lead here, trailing 38-0 in this game.
And Jennings to lead the show offensively for the Raiders one more time with 7:08 left to go on this Beppler Insurance first down. And they'll keep it on the ground on this first down play, and that's Broomfield, who's got a nice gap, and there he goes down the sidelines. Look at this. Broomfield to take it the distance for the touchdown. Nicely done by Daniel, who gets his 3rd touchdown on the ground this season. 62 yards out, and add 6 to the board. It's now 38-6.
Well, they really have missed Daniel Broomfield after that finger injury. We talked about the fact that he's got that hand wrapped in a soft cast. This is nothing special, but this is really good execution by the offensive line. Dalton Hall, the big left tackle, did a great job of looking inside for that linebacker, and that sprung Daniel Broomfield, who goes the distance. And just like that, Buddy White had him fired up at halftime, and he's got himself a touchdown.
It is extra point time now, and you need a kicker to kick an extra point. Sufyan Sangari is on to try the extra point now. The regular kicker, Landon Myers, is also a soccer player, and the soccer team is playing tonight, so he has gone to be with the soccer team. So Sufyan Sangari is going to attempt the extra point. Snap, the kick, it is up, and look at that. Not bad, huh, for a defensive back. It is now 38-7 with 6:42 left to go. Special guest joining us down along the sidelines. Hold your applause to the end for the new commissioner of the OCC, the one and only Ken Baker. Ken, thanks for joining us here on Thursday Night Lights.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Really appreciate being asked to be on. I also want it noted that it's kind of chilly down here. You guys are probably a little warmer than what I am right now.
Oh, just slightly. Now, Ken, I've got to say, first of all, congratulations on getting the job as the OCC commissioner. But how difficult has the transition been? Because you take over as the commissioner, and then we have to deal with this crisis called a pandemic.
Yeah, it's been a piece of cake.
Okay.
No, the reality is we have such wonderful athletic directors, administrators, coaches in the OCC. It's been a challenge, to say the least. When I took the position, I was told it was a part-time position. That's not been the case, but it has been, at least from the outset, has been a challenge for all of our school administrators. But the way that they've responded has just been remarkable in establishing our return to play protocols. And I mean, look around us. I mean, the opportunity for these kids to be playing tonight, that's what it's all about.
Well, you get the job as the new OCC commissioner, and we get a new executive director of the OHSAA at the same time. Talk about melting those together and what you know about Mr. Ute.
Doug's a great guy. I've known Doug for years. It was an excellent choice by the OHSAA board. Obviously, they have their challenges, just like everybody else is going through right now. But I couldn't think of a better person for the position than Doug. And I'm confident he's going to do a wonderful job.
You know, football certainly gets a lot of the attention here in the fall, and the OCC is a terrific conference. But we're talking about a lot of sports that are out there competing right now, and golf is involved. And talk about some of the other sports.
Yeah, it's when you have a conference of this size, not just the number of schools, but the number of sports, there's so many moving parts. And the reality is that, every day we have to make adjustments, whether it be with the schedule or officials or whatever, transportation issues. And once again, our schools have just responded very, very positively to everything. And it's just, if you would have asked me 2 months ago if we were going to have a fall sports season, I'm not sure the odds would have been in the favor of that. And for us to be able to participate fall sports, and now we're in the planning process for winter. And it's remarkable that we've been able to get through this. And it's due to the cooperation of a lot of folks, our kids, our coaches, our parents, communities, being able to do what they have to do to be able to make this happen.
Amen. Education-based athletics is the route to go, and we couldn't think of a better leader with better people skills than Ken Baker. Ken, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for all that you do, too.
Thank you very much. It is now second down at around the 40-yard line, and Wallace to keep. Can he get to the outside? He does. He's got the first down and then some. Scoots across midfield, out around the 48-yard line with 4:55 and ticking on that continuous clock. The margin is still more than 30. It's a first down for the Tigers.
Give credit to the way that Reynoldsburg has come out and played defense here in the third quarter, but it does look like Pickerington just a little bit out of sync out there, but nice move by quarterback Garner Wallace to be able to break contain and keep this drive alive. First down on the short side of the 50. Now, you're going to be an elite team and a championship team under Jay Sherritt. I don't care what the score is. He is going to want to see effective and efficient play out of his football team here in quarter number 3.
And that touchdown by Broomfield was only the second touchdown they've given up all season, and the other one was in the fourth quarter. So no one has still scored a touchdown against Pick Central in the first half. They've only given up 5 points. On the handoff on this Bepler Insurance first down, they'll get it across the 48, maybe to the 47, as once again Kamara on the carry. With that continuous clock, we've drifted now under 4 minutes left to go in quarter number 3.
Well, they had a pulling guard, and they had wide receiver Gavin Edwards, who was coming across the formation, leading the blocking going into the play. But again, the front line by Reynoldsburg, Caleb Turner, number 62, Anthony Mobley at that defensive end linebacker position, and Terrell Burton doing a good job inside.
I don't think it's cold up here. You think it was cold on the sidelines?
Just fine.
They look comfortable down there.
I haven't heard Mike Todd complain about it. I mean, come on. Let's not get soft here.
Well, he eats a lot of Dairy Queen, too, so he's used to the cold.
Hey, that body, he hasn't eaten much Dairy Queen, I'm telling you.
Yeah, not as much as in the past. Second down at 8. Whistles with 3:24 left to go.
That might be a delay of game.
I think they took too long. Here's Mr. Baker.
Good ball. Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Again, we don't have a play clock here, but when the back judge lifts his hand, that means there's 5 seconds left to go. And Patrick Hunter, who's been, tutored and mentored by a young friend of mine, Jim Gowdy, in the past, raised his right hand. That means you got 5 seconds left to go before you snap it. If you don't, it's delay a game. That's what happened that time.
And that's the responsibility of the quarterback. He's the field general out there. He's got to pay attention.
On the second down play, Wallace going to keep it. Mutter around the left side. Do you think the end of the third quarter is the end of the night for Garner Wallace?
Well, you would think so, Randy. We saw Nick Mosley, and I mentioned after his 4th touchdown rushing in the first half of play, he looked a little bit gimpy going to the bench, and told you that they would probably shelve him, but makes you wonder a little bit about Garner Wallace, how much time he might be spending out there. And there are some fresh jerseys coming in. Carrying the football back there has been Orlando Camara. We've had Dylan Bryan in the game a little bit, Saran Smith. So a number of guys have carried the football.
On a third down play, 3rd and a dozen, with just about 2 minutes left to go in the rapidly played third quarter. Wallace looking, and he's going to be sacked back at the 40-yard line. There's the inspired play you were talking about from the Tigers in the second half. A triad back there to help make the hit. Among them, number 18 coming through for the Raiders, and that is Mekhi Woodfork.
No, they don't blitz off, and when they do, they bring the heat. And you can see all the way from the backside, Jabari Mitchell, just a sophomore. They believe that Jabari Mitchell, number 35 right there, can play any position on the field. They could put him at DB, they could put him at wide receiver, running back, and this is a kid that is just a sophomore at 6'3", 185. Huge ceiling for him.
He likes science, history, and basketball as well, too. 1:26 and ticking, punting situation, and it is high, and it's not going that far. They may have gotten a piece of that one, and it's going to take a roll for the Raiders and head out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 1:16 left to go in the third, make it 1:15 as we take one more off. 38-7, Pickerington Central up in this contest. We'll take a break right here on the CW Columbus and Stadium. It is the moon over Reynoldsburg. Pickerington Central on top, 38-7 in this one. Rewatch or share tonight's game, fans, and the entire 2020 season of Honda's Thursday Night Lights by visiting our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WSYX on your side, and look for the 2020 Thursday Night Lights playlist. And also, just a reminder, too, coming up at the start of the fourth quarter, we'll join Mike Todd on the Custom Air Heating and Cooling sideline for a conversation with Reynoldsburg High School Assistant Athletic Director and head basketball coach on the boys' side, Andy Moore. That coming up. I remember him when he was like 3 feet tall, and his dad was a legendary basketball coach, and Dave Moore at Mount Vernon. And, Jeff, what happened on that play?
Daniel Broomfield went with the same offensive play that they scored the big touchdown on, and Pickerington Central had made some adjustments.
Jennings to throw. Has a little gap. He'll scoot and loses balance, but get down to the 45-yard line. So picks up about 4 on the play before he loses his balance, and that could be the last play of the third quarter. As he had an opening, Jeff, to the right.
He really did. Dejon Jennings was off to the races here. Certainly would have picked up the first down, but you see he just tripped over his own feet there. Big chase downfield by C.J. Doggett.
And they may get in one more play at least here. From the 45, 3rd down and 5, with 5 seconds left to go in the quarter. And they'll keep it on the ground. And it'll be a gain down to around the 41-yard line on the play. And that is by Zion Jackson Wilborn. We've played 3, 38-7 in favor of the number 1 team in the state of Ohio in Division I, Pickerington Central, right here on the CW Columbus and Stadium.
Happy to be joined by Assistant Athletic Administrator and Head Boys Basketball Coach for Reynoldsburg. This is Andy Moore. Andy, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. What's the school year been like so far at Reynoldsburg?
I guess for like everybody else, different. You know, there hasn't been a lot of people in the building yet. You know, we're supposed to go to hybrid learning on October 19th, so it's been a little quiet right now. You know, teachers, most of them come in during the day, but as far as students, they've not been around. So a little different feel around the building at this point, but we're excited to get the kids back here soon.
What has impressed you so far during this time of adversity at Reynoldsburg?
The leadership with our school board, their leadership, our superintendent Melvin Brown and assistant superintendent Robert Baker, and then Ed Johnson in the superintendent's office, Jack Pertel, they've really led this place in a time of adversity and unprecedented times. And with me just being here a few months now, not only do I know they've been very helpful to our students, our faculty, our staff, but they've been very helpful to me as well. And our faculty and staff, I know it's hard on them right now as teachers, and they're doing an incredible job.
All right, well, Andy, thank you so much for joining us here tonight once again. Assistant Athletic Administrator as well as head boys basketball coach at Reynoldsburg, Andy Moore. Guys.
Mike, thank you very much. It was a first down picked up on fourth down by James Williams, who gets his 12th carry of the season. And now on this first down play on the carry, Zion Jackson-Wilburn. And we have a player down on the field right now for the Raiders, and that is Aaron Harding, the big right tackle. So with that being said, with 11:03 left to go in the fourth quarter, we'll take a break. 38-7 in favor of Pickerington Central on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School. Pickerington Central on top of the Raiders, 38-7 in this contest. 11:03 left to go here in this fourth quarter as they attend to first-year starter Aaron Harding down on the field. The First Warning weather experts make it easy for you to stay weather aware with up-to-the-minute information that's available to you wherever you are. Enjoy the game, enjoy fall, and count on the First Warning weather experts to be on your side morning, noon, and night. And now we see a little shuffle off the field there by Aaron Harding, a man who likes engineering, music, science, chemistry, and tosses the old shot put as well, too. You have a fairly athletic brother as well, too, who was big into track and field. Judd, right?
Yeah, Judd was a four-time Olympian in the hammer throw, a former U.S. record holder and head track and field coach at Ashland University, where they've won a couple of national championships in Division II men's track and field.
Did he ever play football?
He did for Kent State for a couple of years.
Okay. Second down play now. And they'll hand it off, and as Broomfield, who scored the lone tally in this contest for the Raiders, gets it inside the 35. One of the players for the Tigers going to lose his helmet on the play. He'll lose a play as Tyler Gillison will have to check out. And that's a guy, too, number 22, who's really had a solid game, I think. Tyler, 6'3", 245 at a junior. He has relatives that have played ball at Duke, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Youngstown State, and just a solid outside linebacker.
It's amazing how quickly linebacker Reese Bansiford came crashing in there. But if you're going to get in the backfield, you see number 9 right there. You got to grasp and grapple that guy. He's not a big linebacker at 6'1", 180. But, man, when he sees the hole, he flies up inside.
Think about that. 3 of the 4 linebackers that start for the Tigers are juniors, Jeff. They'll be back next season. And as Broomfield trying to take it around the left side, he gets it inside the 33, and then the wave of Tigers push him back from there. So it'll be fourth down as we're under 10 minutes left to go. If you're just joining us, it's a continuous clock in the second half of the margin in Ohio high school football is 30 points or greater, and that's the scene here for Pickerington Central. That's happening every week because in week 1 they beat Pickerington North 35-9, so it wasn't continuous the entire time there. They beat Newark 49-0. They held Newark to negative 24 yards total offense. Beat Central Crossing 47-0. They beat Groveport 43-3, and Groveport actually led 3-0 after the first quarter. And they beat Lancaster last week 35-0, scoring on their first 5 possessions. And tuning up as they get ready for the playoffs. The draw and seeding, if you will, have taken place, and Pickerington Central scheduled to play Grove City. Pressure on Jennings, trying to find what he can on this fourth down play. Can he get to the 28-yard line? Boy,
what an effort.
Back and forth and diagonal moves, and he gets the first down inside the 28-yard line.
Well, that's the athleticism and the willingness to go out there and just make things happen. And Deion Jennings had people all over him. I mean, there is no opening here for Dejon to be able to make this thing work, and he just continues to deliver, takes care of the football, and got his team another first down.
4 touchdown passes against Gahanna earlier this season. So Raiders beat the Lions out of the gate.
They've given up throwing the deep ball, Randy. Let's see if they go back to it soon.
Nope, not this time. So handed off and fighting to get down to the 26-yard line. That time on the play is Zion Jackson-Wilburn. Again, when you look at the numbers for Reynoldsburg, they beat Gahanna 48-14. They lost to Groveport 45-14. There was a scoop and score and a pick 6 early in that, and that hurt then as Cruisers waltzed to a victory there. They beat Newark 48-14. They had 458 yards in total offense. They lost to Lancaster 41-40. Reynoldsburg went for 2, and the pass was incomplete in the waning moments of that one. In Central Crossing, they beat 34-10. They had a 99-yard drive in that contest. Looking long downfield, and the pass nearly intercepted. Intended on the play for Savion Torrance. Coverage by Lorenzo Stiles Jr.
There you see the athleticism of that young man, Lorenzo Stiles Jr. This is a pretty good ball. 3 defensive backs. Look at the 3 white jerseys back there. And you can see the elevation by number 3, Lorenzo Stiles. Now you know why everybody in the country was excited about recruiting this young man. Look at how he reacted to the football, was able to come down with a play. If he doesn't get up there like that, Randy, that's a touchdown.
7:27 and ticking. 3rd down. They need 9. 2 backs in the backfield this time. 2 wide at the top, 1 to the bottom. And Jennings on the keep. Helmet to helmet, gets it inside the 22 to the 20-yard line. So he met Smith head on, and 1 beat 2, and then Saran is now checking out his helmet after that contact.
Yeah, DeJohn Jennings is a pretty good football player from a size standpoint, 6 foot 185. He's the one that delivers the blow here, the quarterback. Look at him drop that shoulder, leads in. Want to avoid helmet-to-helmet contact, and we've actually seen penalties where the offensive player has been charged with lowering his helmet and creating helmet-to-helmet.
They need 4 yards on 4th down, but it's not going to happen as the ball's free. Broomfield lost the handle from the very beginning, so it really doesn't matter as it's scooped up by the Tigers in the person of number 22, and that is Tyler Gillison, who's had a contest tonight that he'll love. It's 38-7, 6:38 left to go. Change of possession. We'll take a break right now on the CW Columbus and Stadium. There is the majestic orb that awaits the champion of this contest. The victor, will it be Pickerington Central or Reynoldsburg? Whoever it is, Mike Todd will be there to help with the presentation. And also, before that, we'll have to pick our Rally's player of the game. Jeff and I will decide on that at the end of the contest. And unless that moon comes down from the sky that we saw earlier, I think we know who the pick is going to be. 1st and 10. And Wall is still in there at quarterback, and they'll hand it off and get it up to the 28-yard line. And it's another Dairy Queen of Pickerington 1st down. That sounds good. I think we're going to have to pay a visit over there and see if Mike Todd will open the doors, or at least leave them open a little later for us, if that's okay.
We're fairly close, are we not?
Well, we are. Well, we're close to him, too, right? He's on the carry that time for the Tigers. Once again, it is Orlando Kamara. So mark it up to the 28-yard line. Pick up 4, 2nd down, and 6 from there. So we approach 6 minutes left to go.
You know, I think Jay Sherritt's looking at these extra reps for his quarterback, Garner Wallace, who's, first-year starter at the quarterback position, replacing Demetric Crenshaw, who was a state championship quarterback twice.
And around the left side. Good penetration that time as Brian tried to turn the corner and could not do so. They were waiting for him there at the 25-yard line. So that man will check out, and it'll be a 3rd down and long now for the Tigers.
And watch Gavin Edwards, number 16. He's trying to make the block here. And what has to happen, Randy, is you got to get up inside there. You can't run to the sidelines. And that's a mistake that Dylan Bryan, just a sophomore, makes. When you see all that pressure going outside, you got to plant that outside foot and get yourself going north and south.
Notice Kobe Gorman is back there in the offensive line. We talked about him as a starter on defense, and last year as a freshman, the first true starter actually that saw time on both sides of the football for Jay Sherritt during his tenure there, some 18 years. We were talking about that earlier, Jeff. What a great tradition they've had with head coaches between he and then before that, the legendary Jack Johnson, who used to just storm the sidelines there and very quiet but menacing with that white short-sleeve shirt he used to wear along the sidelines. So a 4th down play awaits. Some great history for both of these programs, too, when you look at some of the graduates in the past for Pickerington Central, guys like Greg Lara, A.J. Trapasso, Ryan Manilak, Ryan Peters, Taco Charlton, and Zach Bourne have all played in the NFL. It used to be called Violet Township High School from 1906 to 1939, then Pickerington High School from 1940 to 2003, and you just fall on the ball when that happens, son. That's exactly what happens that time with number 32, Dylan Wagner, trying to attempt the punt, and that time was just forced to fall on it back of the 15-yard line and gives the Raiders a short field with 4:24 left to go.
Randy, I mentioned the fact that they've got an elite long snapper, but this was not Lamonaco in there. They got the backup long snapper in the game for punt formation, and that ball dribbled back to the punter, and he made the right decision, just bury the football right there, and Reynoldsburg got a huge break here.
And they're inside the Scott Schiff & Associates red zone on this first down play. 1st and 10 from the 15 with 4:20 left to go. We'll crank that clock again as we set it up for this change of possession on this Dairy Queen first down. And goes Broomfield.
Boy, does he run big.
He runs tough.
Is strong and thick.
Like science, fishing, and real estate. I don't have any idea what those three have in common, but he likes them all. And again, a guy nursing that finger injury, like we mentioned, for head coach Buddy White, a guy that also sells insurance as well, too.
Going to be important for Buddy White and his football team as they hopefully proceed through the playoffs to have a Daniel Broomfield back into the mix, and that's certainly been a positive juice for his football team tonight.
They're slated to play Lancaster in the first round, a team that historically they play, and it seems like it goes 7 overtimes every time. They get the ball inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. As that time on the carry is Zion Jackson Wilburn. Again, they don't go 7, but they have gone multiple overtimes a couple times with the Golden Gales in the past. We'll see what this matchup will lead to in week number 7. Again, their little gap on the right side and a good cut. And this is a guy that's seen a lot of time here in this second half, in Zion Jackson Wilburn, who goes 5'9", 190 and is but a junior. So third down play just inside the 10 at the 9.
A lot of pride on that defensive football team trying to secure the great record that they've had so far defensively.
And Broomfield trying to cut it outside, and boy, he cannot do it. Great pursuit by that defense. The guy leading the charge, number 7, William Dukes IV, the linebacker. And he was the first person there to make the hit, a young guy that got 13 solos, 19 assists, and had 2 tackles for a loss coming into this contest. He has equaled that in this game tonight.
Yeah, these are 2 man bodies going one-on-one against one another. I mentioned the size of Broomfield. He is a solid football player, and then coming up from that linebacker spot, Dukes at 220 pounds delivers the blow as well. Looked like a stalemate.
4th down and 3. Is it time for the hook and lateral?
Don't bite your tongue.
We've had that, folks, twice in the last couple of weeks, and each time it led to a touchdown. Last week it led to the winning score with 3.4 seconds left to go. We may have a timeout taken on the field.
Yeah, Buddy White.
With 2:13 left to go, they'll burn a timeout. They burned 1 in the first half. And sadly, I've been informed that it's time for the semi-award-winning Logan's Heroes, where Jeff picks, in his eyes, the top 5 teams in the area.
Yep, Emmy Award-winning, I think, is what you meant to say. And I've got Pickerington Central, number 1. That's no surprise. Dublin Kaufman, a terrific football team as well. Westerville South, I think, is a team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs. We'll see DeSales tomorrow night against Fisher Bartley. And how about Jonathan Alder making the final spot here in week number 6?
Was it tough coming up with 5? Did you have somebody that was close to being number 5?
You know, I struggled a little bit with, Groveport Madison, I think, is another team that people don't want to necessarily play in the playoffs. I think they're going to be really, really good. I know that Johnstown has got a really good football team as well. And I think there's a Liberty Union is still out there that I had in the Logan's Heroes early on, but I got penalized. I put them on the sidelines because they ran up the score against Grandview Heights, winning 77-0.
Maybe they were that good in that contest, Jeff.
Stop scoring.
Did you ever score 77 in a game?
Yes.
All right. Did you run it up?
I felt bad.
Oh, you did? For how long?
Not
15
long.
seconds. Thank you very much. Not long is what they have on 4th down. They just need 3 yards to move the sticks or get a touchdown here with 2:10 left to go and clicking here. Again, the continuous clock till the margin is under 30 points, I should say. Broomfield's got it. Weaves his way inside the 5, near the goal line. And does he take it in for the touchdown? He does. And that will stop the clock as we're under 30 points. It's 38-13. Just the 3rd touchdown given up by Pickerington Central this year. The 2nd time they've given up one in the 4th quarter. It's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, text or call 614-761-ROOF.
This shouldn't surprise anybody. This is a really good Reynoldsburg football team that just couldn't get anything going in the first half of this game, and Pickerington Central was hitting on all cylinders on a short field, but taking advantage of the botched the botched punt attempt gave them great field position.
There's a flag on the try for the extra point, so Mr. Baker will let us know what's going on down on the field right now, so we'll try it again.
Dead ball. Encroachment. 22.
Encroachment
Defense.
on the Tigers.
Half the distance. Replay the try.
So we'll do it again.
Going to be plenty of opportunities for Jay Sherritt to coach up his football team. Got to make improvement every week.
Now,
nothing is perfect.
We've seen this a couple times where the team opts to take it and go for 2 instead. Snap was not that great. And the kick is up, and it's no good. The snap was kind of a little off there, a little low. And we've got a flag, 2 flags at the end of the play now with 1:52 left to go. I think these will be dead ball penalties here.
A little pushing and shoving going on after the play.
We'll see what Mr. Baker and company have to say as the crew will get together and confer. Hats off to the guys, too. Because, in a game like this, Jeff, when it gets out of hand early, sometimes you wonder if they're going to let things go. But this crew has been right on top of things throughout this contest. And that's the way you want it to be as a coach, right?
Well, you do. And number one, both of these two teams are coached by 2 terrific gentlemen in Buddy White and Jay Sheridan. This officiating crew has been perfect.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Kicking team, number 62.
All right. So we'll assess that on the kickoff. And we'll kick it off from the 25-yard line. Don't miss the biggest plays, the biggest high school games in Central Ohio. Join Fox 28's Clay Hall for First Scores on Fox 28 tomorrow night at 10:45, sponsored by Spectrum. He looks like a natural the way he's holding that football, doesn't he? Did you teach him that?
I didn't teach him, but the man's got some skills.
He does. On the field and behind the desk as well, too. It's great to have him on the contest earlier. And our thanks to Clay for having me on every week, too, on ABC6 as we preview this game as well, too. He has to put up with a lot, and I'm just another add-on to that. There's your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. After the problem with the snap on the punt attempt for the Tigers, it goes 4 and 15 and 2:32 off the clock. And again, we're under 30 points, so we go back to standard clock rules with 1:52 left to go. Although you would think that the Tigers would run the ball. And again, nice try and trying to kick it from the 40-yard line.
We got this little thing called a penalty to deal with.
No, not the 30.
They're going to keep going back.
Come on.
Wait a minute. He says
it's 15 yards for a personal foul. There you go.
I can't kick it that far.
Sure you can. Come on. That's Troy Kesterson. He can kick it that far. You notice he's on my roster. He's not on yours, is he? So he moves it back to the 25-yard line. Do you try an onside kick here? Yeah, you do.
You certainly do.
Little hop and corralled nicely at the 47-yard line on the play by the Tigers in the person of Caleb Reichard. So he's got the ball. The Tigers get it back. And let's see if we have a new quarterback up there. I would think that if you're going to have a chance for a backup quarterback to play, this might be the time for Braden Mantooth, but we'll find out.
There you go. They've practiced this enough. Pretty good execution and nice job recovering the football. Number 29, Caleb Reichard.
So Mantooth will come in, the 6'4" sophomore, who's carried it 5 times. Will run the show on the first down play, and they'll bang it off the right side for a gain of about 1 on the play. No sense of urgency right now on either side as we're under 2 minutes left to go in this contest.
Those are all your seconds and JV guys that are in that football game right now for Pickerington, getting an opportunity to play. Important minutes for those young men.
And that's the difficult thing. You just know with the JVs and the freshman teams what you can do this year, because you're hard-pressed just to play a game, let alone trying to get the JV and the freshman games going, too. Some schools don't have freshman teams. Some don't even have JV programs as well, too. And it's just difficult to know. And hats off to those kids getting the opportunity to play late in this contest. On a second down, no gain on the play. Back at the 47-yard line. And again,
he'll stare down the back judge there, Randy.
And the arm goes up. 4, 3, 2. Actually counts it down with his fingers. And the handoff to Kamara and gets it back to the line of scrimmage. The ball squirts free. And let's see if we have a change of possession here or not with 55 seconds left to go.
A lot of people screaming on the Reynoldsburg sidelines pointing their direction, but it's going to be kept by Pickerington.
Yep, they'll have the ball.
It's like, Randy, one more play, and they will be able to officially put the dog in the truck.
Kamara will check out. Now, last week you could not put the dog in the truck.
That was impossible.
No.
There was no chance.
You couldn't find the dog or the truck.
Well, we couldn't find the dog.
Yeah.
We couldn't find the truck, and so it was just absolutely impossible.
Couldn't spot, could you? 3rd down and 11 from the 48-yard line. Half a minute left to go, so indeed they should have to run one more play. A late ad on the field now. I think that's Mr. Bryan who's coming on. So
there's 5 seconds to go.
Mantooth has got him up there. We're down to 3, 2. Can they snap in time? They do. get the handoff. Little gap, and they'll get it inside the 45 to around the 43-yard line, and that will do it. Yes, that time it is indeed Dylan Bryant on the carry, and that will end this contest. What a performance, Jeff. All Pickerington Central early in this contest, and they cruised to a 38-13 victory.
Yeah, you got to be proud of the way that they came out and played in this game, and I'm really proud of Reynoldsburg in the second half. Obviously, the Pickerington Tigers were going to change some things up and be a little bit more conservative with the big lead, but Reynoldsburg, at the leadership of Buddy White, came out there, got those little victories, got a couple of scores late in the game to make it, one that they can build upon as they head into the playoff. Those are the things that are going to be most important for them as they look forward to their game against Lancaster.
38-13, the final. The award presentation coming up in mere moments. This is Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus and Stadium. And welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School. It's all over. Pickerington Central showing their domination, winning 38-13. To the sidelines we go, and our Mike Todd.
All right, Randy, thank you so much. Jay Sherritt, first of all, introduce this young man that's standing next to you, please.
Lorenzo Jr. has played, been a 4-year starter for us, has played a lot of football, and in the weeks to come, hope we're going to play some more.
Big victory tonight in front of a national audience. The postseason starts next week, but you want to celebrate this victory tonight. What has this team shown you so far this regular season?
I think, we've come out and played good football from the beginning to the end. And then, if we keep our feet on the ground, I don't know how many playoff games we can win, but we'll start with one and play it next week and see what happens. But, when you got fine young men like Lorenzo Stiles Jr. standing next to me and a whole group of seniors led by some underclassmen, it comes together, and hopefully we can put it together again.
Well, it's our pleasure here on Thursday Night Lights to present to you Lorenzo and the rest of the Pickerington Central Tigers, the Honda's Thursday Night Lights Championship Trophy. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
When you win championships like they have in the past, you don't get as excited for winning just one game. They've been to the promised land 2 of the last 3 years, so congratulations to the Tigers on the victory tonight. We have not seen the best of the Tigers just yet. We have not seen 48 minutes from Pickerington Central. It's scary to think how good they could be.
Well, I wonder if anybody can take them to 48 minutes. That's part of the problem, and Reynoldsburg proved in the second half that they're a pretty good football team, yet Pickerington was able to come out because of some mistakes. And when you open the game with a punt return for a touchdown, that kind of sets the tone for things, and Pickerington Central owned it from that point on.
We'll take a look at some of the stats in this contest. And again, you look at the total yards, and not the amount you would think by a team that dominates a contest, but they had the kickoff return, they had a punt return for a touchdown as well, too. They did so well in so many phases of the game. They were able to be very efficient with what they did, and again, forced a couple turnovers from the Raiders as well.
Yeah, they really did. And Randy, no turnovers for Pickerington Tigers, but they had a mistake in their kicking game.
Right.
That's something that they will work on. If you're going to be an elite program, you've got to be elite in all phases of the game, and I know that that's one thing that Jay Sherritt will work on this week.
And you have to have more than one hero normally, but tonight we're going to focus on one person as our rallies player of the game. That's Nick Mosley. He scored from 3, 4, 2, and 3 yards out. Kind of a Sesame Street combination there, less than 5 yards, but he scored 4 times, and what a job he does on the ground. He gives him that strength and that presence in the backfield.
Well, he keeps his head up, Randy, as he goes through the holes. His shoulders are square, his pads are low, and he's got a really good offensive line. That's a pretty good combination. And his quarterback does a nice job of distributing the football and making sure that on the read options and on the RPOs that he makes the right decision. I think the upside for this football team as they begin the playoffs next week against Grove City is pretty good.
And how about the Raiders? Buddy White was willing to coach him up at halftime, and he made us so motivated we were ready to play in the third quarter. I thought the team did bounce back pretty well in that second half.
I think he could be really proud of his football team, and I think getting Broomfield back from that injury, that finger injury, is going to be important for them. They've got a whale of a game next week when they take on Lancaster. Now, they'll host it here, so that'll be important for Reynoldsburg being able to host that football game, but they lost 41-40. I think payback time is what Buddy White's thinking about. about.
Are you ready for a curtain call tomorrow night?
Absolutely.
And it's only the CCL championship game. What a game it'll be tomorrow night when DeSales takes on Hartley, 4-1 against 3-2, all right here as we do a special Friday edition of Honda's Thursday Night Lights. Talk to you again tomorrow, sir.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you, folks, for watching tonight, all right? And we want to say thank you for watching Thursday Night Lights every single week as well, too. A big thank you to the incredibly talented production team from Image Video Teleproductions, to Tony D'Angelo and the entire CW Columbus team, and, of course, to all our fabulous sponsors. Again, join us tomorrow night for a special Friday night edition of Honda's Thursday Night Lights when Bishop Hartley takes on St. Francis DeSales at 7 o'clock. We'll join Family Feud in progress in just a moment, but we say goodbye by showing you some of the highlights of this contest. For Nick Mosley, what a night. 4 touchdowns as Pickerington Central showed you why they're the top dog in Division I in the state of Ohio. I'll say it one final time. Join me, won't you? Thank you for watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College in 2 places on the CW Columbus and Stadium.